Hi, welcome to another episode about chatting about Fairmont. I'm Mom.
I'm Brandon.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
All right, Brandon, how have you been doing?
Mom, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. It has been a long time since we've talked about Beyond the Gates. And so thank you for your patience. We are back and ready to talk about it again. All right. And so, just so everyone knows, the date of this recording is on August the 10th of 2025. And so, what we're going to do this time is we're going to talk about some of the storylines that have occurred within the last about 6 to 8 weeks. And we're going to tell us what we liked and what we have not liked, because quite a few storylines have actually come to a head, or they have put quite a bit of details into the storylines. And so, we'd like to kind of give our thoughts about them. All right. So first of all right, when we last spoke, Martin and his secret had just been revealed, and so we'd like to talk about what your thoughts are about it, and then what are some things we like or didn't like about the storyline itself. Let's see. When I first heard about the secret itself, it did not surprise me because they had alluded enough to what the secret will be that I was not surprised by the secret itself. What I liked about the storyline was the fact that it brought in so many characters that I was not expecting. It brought in Bill, it brought in Joey, it brought in the police force. Of course, Martin. I'm sorry it left out Smitty, but but yes, I thought it brought in a lot of characters that I was not expecting. And so that was one of the things I did like about the storyline. The storyline was very deep. And so I thought they did a nice job of how they handled the circumstances for the situation that occurred. Um, Brandon, what are your thoughts about the storyline itself?
Well, first of all, I mean, just to sort of give a timeline as to how long this has been going on, is that the secret actually hadn't been revealed by the time we did our last discussion.
Oh, wow. Yes, that's true. That's true. It had not.
But we were ramping up there, and so we were just discussing from the preview for that upcoming week about all of the people who were a part of it. And yeah, I mean, that was quite a roster of people, everyone from Bill to Ted to, to Elon, the police chief, to Marcel Malone. I mean, there's quite a bit of people up there, but I would have to say, I think that was what impressed me the most. And in terms of the secret, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was very fitting, but I kind of wanted a more of a bigger shock.
Yeah, I will give you that. I think when we first talked about the secret, which, I know they've alluded to the secret since February when it started, um, and we kind of had talked about this prediction episode that we had. I was really hoping that it would involve Andre and his parents, because I think that would have been more of a shocker. However, as the time went on, we kind of were led to know exactly what the secret was as it became closer to the big reveal. But like I said, once more, with the amount of people that they involved and the fact when they all got together. Oh, and we forgot about Martin's dad. He was involved with this too. That it just surprised me with how many people they were able to bring together for this particular plot. Now, as for the storyline purposes for Smitty, he was not involved initially with it. He was kind of trying to guess and things like that. Um, I did like their conversation that they had afterwards. I like that they let Martin explain everything to Smitty. They are currently not together right now, but they are working on it. But I did like that they let Martin explain everything in his own words, and for the children, I thought they did a good job of saying that they kind of gave enough information for the children to know what's going on, but they didn't tell them everything. All right, Brandon, was there anything you did not like about the storyline?
I would say that, and again, I think they executed the storyline overall well, but I don't think I cared for as much that they sort of led up to it for such a long time. And I'm not saying in the sense of that it's not good to have lead up. It's more so that practically everything was almost practically resolved by the time we actually knew what the secret was, and then I don't know. I don't think we had as much suspense. Like again, I wish there would have been like some sort of mystery or some sort of twist to it, but in reality, it felt more like a okay, so what?
Yeah. And I will say the one person who I liked who was involved with it was Bill. Not in the sense of what he did, but in the sense that he was involved. Um, because Bill really has not had a storyline. And so, I mean, he has with Haley, but in essence, he really hasn't. Um, so I like that they involved him with this and kind of showed what he was willing to do for the family itself. Like I said, what he did, his actions, of course, were not the action to have, but and just involved for storyline purposes. I like that he was involved with the storyline. All right. Then we have Haley. Of course, that involves Bill, but we've got Haley running around out there who has decided to fake a pregnancy, or at least it appears as though she's faking a pregnancy. Um, as of um, as of last Friday, she has indicated that she has lost the baby. My question overall was, why are we doing this? I don't know how long she thought she could get away with faking a pregnancy. People were starting to ask why she wasn't showing. Um, and so I will say I will give her for being clever for faking the miscarriage that she had with Danny and that traumatic fall that she had. But yeah, the fall was with Bill. But and then with the and then to have Randy, that which that one did surprise me that they did have Randy as being the person who would help her, which makes you wonder what relationship does Haley have with Randy, and is it something a little bit more than what we know? Because Randy did not say his name was Randy; he said his name was Sammy. And Danny made a comment about how she kind of thought he was someone else, but she couldn't really place who he was. And Randy's been all over town, so so it's interesting to see that they really didn't know. And why would a Haley let a perfect stranger take her to the hospital? Um, so odd storyline. Not quite sure what the purpose was, unless she has a bigger unless there's something else going on that we will be told about later. All right, Brandon, what were your thoughts about the Haley and the baby? Yes or no?
Well, I mean, from the beginning, you could almost think that Danny was sort of deranged and thinking that Haley was going to fake a pregnancy and then it's going to end and that she was going to blame it on her. But I mean, I guess that was potentially the truth, maybe, possibly. She told Naomi um, that it wasn't how how it looks, and that there was a pregnancy, but it ended a long time ago. But she just now found out it ended. I mean, this it's a very messy situation. We don't know if there's any truth to it at all because Haley's not really a reliable narrator, and neither is Danny for that matter.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what the point of this storyline was, unless they were just point blank just giving Haley a storyline to have. All right, let's move on to the articulates. This probably to me was the drawn out storyline. Um, I like the ending better than I like the storyline itself. That is, if this is ended. But but we did get the concert the other day, and the concert was nice to watch. So I did get a kick out of that. I really liked the way they kind of gave Barbara her credit at the end, and I did like the way they kind of showed her there, and how she was involved with the group and everything like that. So that part I really liked. The other storyline with the articulates, it was just here and there for me. So Brandon, what are your thoughts about the articulates?
Yeah, I mean, I like that Anita was able to have a storyline, but as I mentioned, I believe within the last two discussions is that I felt they were sort of sidetracked, that they were the main storyline. The writers started writing for that to be the sort of second or third, I guess the third main storyline, and then they all abruptly like disappeared. We switched to a Martin storyline, and then we're back to the articulates while Martin's still going on. Um, and I just thought it was kind of messy, and I thought Anita in some places was very contradictory in that she wants to do everything, she wants to make amends, and then almost right before the big concert, she just blew everything up. And so, but then it came back, and I don't know. It felt very flip floppy, but I liked the overall in performance, like you're saying. I don't think the story was all together, as if it was chosen as a storyline and then put to the back burner, and then you had to sort of pick up the pieces as to why you had to pull everything up.
Yeah, it's kind of like they didn't know what to do with the storyline. I believe they had the barber piece already in there, but other than that, I don't know if they kind of knew what to do with it. And so then to have at the end, like I said, I like what they did at the end. That part I thought was cohesive. And hopefully, I'm kind of hoping they're done with the articulates. At least that's my thought anyway. So you'll have to let us know in the comments of what your thoughts are for that. All right. And then we have Joey. Joey is just an interesting character all itself. Um, we have Joey involved with Doug, we have Vanessa, we have Martin. Um, and so the question is, do you like Joey? And of course, when I think about Joey, I do think about Kevin from General Hospital. And I have seen the gentleman who plays Kevin and Joey. I've seen him play a dichotomy of characters on General Hospital, which is interesting to watch. And so to see him on Beyond the Gates, I think he does a good job because he's doing something completely different from the other two characters in which he played on General Hospital. So I do like the way he is acting. Um, the way he acts with Doug, I don't like the way Doug is acting with Joey. I'll put it that way. Um, I don't like the way that kind of goes along. And I don't like the way Doug wants to kind of seek revenge on Joey because I don't think he's going to win against Joey himself. Vanessa is interesting because I think Vanessa can actually take Joey on. Um, that's interesting to watch. But then I watch a relationship between Doug and Vanessa, which is just odd. It's an odd relationship. um, but so I don't even know what to say about both of them together. They don't, as a couple, they don't bother me. It's just an odd relationship. And then as for Joey and Martin, it's just not Martin himself because Joey and Martin really don't have anything to do with each other. It's the fact that Joey helped the whole Dupree family is where everything's coming in over there. But so I'm kind of stuck because I don't know what to say about Joey because every soap needs his villain, and at this point in time, Joey is the villain of the soap. And so I'm okay with Joey being there. He doesn't bother me per se in acting. Um, I just don't. I think it's the Joey Doug scenes that really bother me that I don't like. All right, Brandon, I kind of went round and round to that one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I will say that as a whole, I mean, to pivot a little bit from Joey, I do like Doug as was a character in sort of his wish-washiness, but that he was a very strong character. But then I feel that they sort of pivoted with his character a bit and went to a, you know, I would never do this, even though we saw him like give into his vices repeatedly. And then we went from him sort of being into gambling to then being drunk. I'm not entirely sure where they're going with that. But in terms of Joey, I like that we're able to see that he's a nuanced character and that he wants what he wants and he has experience with all of this. Um, but I don't know where they're really going with this because I don't want us to sort of tone down Joey in the sense that he says he's going to do something and doesn't do it. But also, I don't need this to be a when Joey says take them down, we take them down type of show.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we're about thinking about the same. We don't know what to do with Joey or what our thoughts are about him. But so it'll be interesting to see what you guys think as the viewers. What are your thoughts about Joey? All right, and then we have Andre. Poor Andre. He doesn't know what to do. So I do like Andre with Danny. I like Andre with Ashley too, but not as much as I like him with Danny. I think he and Danny kind of make a cutesy little couple. Um, and so Danny, they have said that he has lots of little female friends, and that's what he does. They have said that, he is someone who, the character who doesn't know what to do because he did lose his parents at an early age. Um, so I like Andre overall as a character. I don't think he needs to be with Ashley. Um, but at the same time, I know he will not always be there for Danny. So, but I do like Andre as a character. I think he's to me, the most perplexed character on there, and I really hope that they go back and do kind of examine and go over the life that he had with his parents, because I think that'll be an interesting one to examine. Um, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you that Andre is probably the most complex character on this show, and I like that we were able to see the various nuances to him. And I like that we get to see different parts of him. Like him with Danny is different than him with Ashley. Um, but I don't. I agree that I don't really see him with Ashley, but I don't know if I actually see him with Danny either. I mean, maybe some random third party will show him. Maybe he'll end up with Vanessa for all we know.
You know, he could. He could. I mean, because Andre could probably be with anyone on the show, so he probably could. Um, so he'll be interesting to watch. And then we've got Bill. And specifically, I want to speak about Bill and a stroke. They've led to the stroke going on. What bothered me about the stroke was the fact that he was over it real quick. We have all of a sudden, we go through this trouble of showing him as a character, showing him going through the stroke process and how he had his cane. And then the next episode, it was gone. No cane. We just mentioned that he had a stroke, but he doesn't have physical therapy anymore. He's better. And I think that bothered me more than anything, was the fact that they kind of just like, it was like the storyline needed for him um, not to have this stroke issues. And so it was just gone in a matter of, overnight. All right, Brandon, what were your thoughts about Bill and his stroke?
Yeah, well, I mean, for full transparency to the viewers, I mean, I missed some episodes and segments here and there throughout this time, but I don't know. I figured that was something that they were going to address during one of those episodes, but apparently not. I don't. Yeah, I don't personally like it, especially like for something medical per se, where you give a real life traumatic experience and then you don't have even a simulated reaction to it. Like I think the show went to great lengths of trying to show, I guess, realistic like triggers and warning signs and everything. So to sort of go back from that is strange, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely, Brandon. All right. And then we're going to move on to Chelsea and her new girlfriend, Madison. Chelsea, I like that they've developed Chelsea as a character. I do like that because I thought Chelsea was just kind of going to be a kind of a character who's just going to be in the back without giving any type of storyline. And so she all of a sudden does have a storyline, and she has a new girlfriend, Madison. And so the question is really, to me, Madison, and who is she related to? Because surely she's related to someone on the show, and we just don't know it yet. Of course, people are saying online that it could be with an articulate that she's related to. Maybe she's related to Anita somewhere down the line. I don't know, but I would like to see them actually follow through and have her be related to someone on the show. Your thoughts, Brian?
And who is this again?
I'm sorry, Madison. This is Chelsea's girlfriend.
I mean, in my thought, I don't. I don't know. I don't see. I know that they made a big deal about this, and I know we discussed this like an episode two ago of this chatting about Fairmont, but I don't. I don't. I think that they've waited on that too long for there to be some sort of big reveal about her being related to someone. I think they're just sticking with that she's a big fan of everyone, and whatever did happen to the whole thing with her and the love triangle and whatever. I mean, is that truly done now?
It appears as though it was done. I mean, it was there and then it disappeared. So I'm not sure. Not sure.
Yeah, I definitely find that whole storyline just interesting. And I don't even know where they're going with that storyline, but I do like her as a character.
Yeah, I will say I like her as a character. Don't know where they're going with it, so hopefully they'll have something good. And then we have Martin and Smitty, which I've already talked about. I do like both of them as a couple together. I really, really like Smitty, and so hopefully they'll kind of bring them back together. I like the way Smitty they have Smitty acting with the children on there. I like the way they're slowly kind of getting back together and speaking. So, like I said, hopefully they will kind of merge them together again. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I like that they were able to, to do with their storyline. I've always liked Smitty, and I like that we're able to get a nuanced view to him. That he's definitely a family person, but also that he's trying to look out for his children, but doesn't really know how. He doesn't have someone to really lean on, except for Jacob, apparently, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, sort of. Well, Smitty has now not necessarily speaking to. Oh, he's speaking to Jacob, but he's not really speaking to him as much as he did because of the secret and what Jacob doesn't know as a police officer. All right, and then I almost left one out, Brandon, and it's a big one. Kat, Eva, and Leslie. You know, they're just a triangle out of this world. But Kat and Eva, as a relationship, I mean, they are kind of interesting to watch as they're bantering back and forth with each other. Um, yes, they're sisters. The questions are they twins? I don't know. But I can go with what people are saying online. But Kat and Eva are interesting characters to watch. I do am amused by them. I think that Eva is a bright girl and that she's figured a lot out on her own. I like the way they're kind of blending Eva and her dad together. I think they're doing a nice job with that. Kat, like I said, Kat is, Kit Kat is what Leslie calls her. Um, Kat is just Kat, and but she's smart and she knows what people are doing behind the scenes. She's figured things out. Leslie's just crazy, but I like her as a character because she does make me laugh when I see her online, see her on the show. We I'm gonna let you speak about them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely like the whole the nuanced relationship between Eva and Kat, but the whole thing with sort of Tomas in the middle, I don't know if I care for that storyline. I kind of liked it where Tomas and Eva were just friends that understand each other, and then Tomas uh, and Kat were attempting to have a relationship, and Eva keeps being that third wheel and sabotaging everything. I personally liked that dynamic, but now that the relationship um, between Kat and Tomas is a real one. Um, like I think we've lost some of that, and then Eva and Tomas have gone from sort of just the flirty friendship to potentially actually in a relationship. I liked Tomas for being Tomas, not necessarily Bill Jr.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that also, and I both think we both can agree that Leslie's crazy and fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, all right, Brandon. Did I leave anyone out?
Oh, there's so much that happened over these several weeks, and I think. Oh, have we spoken about June?
No, we have not spoken about June. June is, of course, the mother. Well, I shouldn't say it has not been revealed yet, but we speculate, of course, that June is the mother of Martin and Smitty's children. They have spoken about their mother just very briefly, in the sense that they said that I I can't even remember what they said about them, but I do know that the other day they made a comment about their mother. Um, And so I don't know where this will end with them, because it's very obvious that June cannot take care of the children. They would have to stay with who they are. So I don't know if whether or not June will kind of try to have the relationship, it would just be a relationship with them, or whether or not the sister will come in and try to do something with it. And whether or not Bill will be involved, because you can imagine this probably was an adoption that was a little different. All right, Brand, your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely am intrigued. And we have a sister now for June, or what we presume is the sister. June claims to not have any memories. We don't know if that's true or not, but we do know that the twins mentioned the woman. They didn't say mother; they said the woman, or
Hmm.
something along those lines, and that she abandoned them and let them fend for themselves. So the pieces are still adding up. But I'd like to see there to be a twist in there, like maybe the supposed aunt is actually the mother, or something like that.
Yeah, that could be a possibility too. All right. Anyone else that we left off?
I mean, I think so much has happened in a relatively little time, but I think that's it for the major storylines. Oh, I guess Nicole has a new man.
Yeah, Nicole has a potential new man, and so that'll be interesting to watch. Nicole, well, Nicole as a character, she's becoming a little stronger as a character. Um, I don't know what they plan to do with Nicole. I do like the banter she has with Danny. I really like the way their relationship is. Um, but I'm kind of curious of where they're going to lead Nicole, because she kind of right now, with the exception of the new man who's popped in, Nicole doesn't really have a storyline per se. She just seems to be the effect of the storylines rather than being part of the storyline, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, Bran, any thoughts for yourself with Nicole?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I don't know much about the new man, although we saw him at the anniversary party and we were figuring, oh, well, I'm sure this will be the new man for her. And sure enough, it is potentially. Um, but I think it's kind of funny and messy in the sense that the new man works for Ted.
Yeah, yeah. So this will be interesting to watch. All right, Brandon, anything else you'd like to talk about?
I think that that we are finally done with the primary people. I sure hope.
I hope so too. All right, guys, you guys have to let us know what your thoughts are beyond the gates and the storylines that we mentioned. Any storyline that we left out or anything you'd like to make a comment about, let us know. And once more, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks in regards to Beyond the Gates. All right, have a great day, everybody.
And we'll see you in number 11.
All right, bye bye.